gorgeous, how are you doing? I'm at the Wish Skin Clinic and I'm going to have filler. Crazy. So you've seen my filler videos before. This is all before I had a facelift. Now I've had my facelift, everything is healed. So now it's time to put some of that filler back because it's been sort of flattened and squished by the procedure. And I'm also going to go a little more aggressive. So we're going to be doing cheeks, we're going to be doing temples, we're going to be doing brow, some chin work, all sorts is going on. But this is going to be the first of a few in this series where we're basically putting artificial fat back where it's kind of been lost or squashed or flattened. One of the downsides of weight loss is you can get a little bit saggy looking, and even with a facelift it draws the skin tighter but doesn't necessarily give you the shape that you want. So the point of this is to put the shape back. So let's head on in. So here we are with this Teoxane branded headband. This is Jeremy, we may recall from earlier filler videos.
We've done lots before.
And what are we doing today?
Temples.
Anything else?
Just temples, I think, today. What we're trying to do is feminize Danielle. What we've noticed is there's some hollowness here and the face is quite long. So we're going to try and make more of a heart shape. And there's a definite demarcation between temple
What does demarcation
and
mean?
the forehead line. There's definite hollowness here, which is not youthful. So we're going to just dome the side out a little bit with some filler. It could bruise. There's lots of vessels here, which you can see, but we're going to go in very superficially. We're going to massage it. It'll look like a lump, and then we massage it with some hydrodissection to get it into the right place. It can't go beyond this part because there's a ligament, and it can't go below this part because there's a septum unless I push the cannula through it. So we're going to do it with a cannula. And we've mixed the product up to a different rheology, which we did a little bit earlier.
A different what?
A different consistency.
He loves to say words that nobody else knows.
So it flows more evenly under the skin. It'll be fabulous. We'll come back and we'll do...
And it will be fabulous.
And it'll be fabulous. And then we can come back and do the forehead because there's some frontal boss in here and a hollowness. Of feminine foreheads in their youth have got convexity, and Danielle's at the moment has got a concavity here. So that will be phase 2. Phase 3 will be cheeks.
I want them now.
Phase 2 could be cheeks. We could do cheeks and forehead today.
Okay.
So there's no pressure. Camera, cannula,
Action.
So you can palpate. Everyone can palpate this.
What's that word mean?
Everyone can feel a line that goes along here.
Why would somebody say palpate instead of feel? Feel is far less letters.
Everyone can feel a line that goes along here with their finger.
Can you?
That is where all the ligaments, so it makes a compartment between the forehead and the temple.
I palpate that you like using long words.
Yeah, it's just about the longest word I know.
Can you use palpate in the Can you use palpate in the emotional sense for feel?
So
Only with tations on the end of it.
you can see this area is very vascular, and the idea would be to go very superficial over the superficial temporal fascia, which contains all of the vessels. Was that too complicated then? Did I just go off?
We're good.
We're going to come in superficial, we're going to make a little bleb, and then we're going to massage it and develop it and look at it as we go.
Are all your friends dentists? Is this how you talk in the pub?
Yes.
Everything,
And I'm one of your friends.
but everything,
I actually just talked to myself.
and everything he does is superficial. So.
There's no anaesthesia.
What?
There's anaesthetic in this.
I want
so it's mixed
anaesthesia.
like lidocaine. First, you'll feel a little sharp.
Already
To
hurts.
start with. What are you feeling?
Yeah. Feels like there's a strange guy with rubber gloves putting things on my face. It is a really odd sensation. Kind of feels like actually feels like what it does, I guess. There's a swelling forming on my forehead. That was a crunchy noise. What was that crunchy noise?
That was actually, that getting to the end, it was like a...
It sounded like a squelch. Not bones being scraped on cannulas then.
No, there's no... I haven't massaged it, but you can see.
Wow.
Great.
That's crazy. That's really interesting to see the
Because if
actors.
you look at that, touch it, you can feel what the product is like then.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Well, that looks nuts, right?
So there, like when I'm pushing, you can see that there's a ligament. It won't push any further than that. So I'm right up onto the ligament. And then if you inject, and what I want to do for you is just bring this corner of your eyebrow out. Okay?
So how doesn't this damage the skin then? Because I imagine it's forcing the skin away from the subdermis.
So I'm doing this.
Yeah, a bit end of the video.
Suddenly you've become tactical.
I'm joining in. To make some more words up.
Yeah. Why isn't it damaging the skin? Why
Yeah.
would it damage the skin?
Well, isn't it?
There's a layer. So if you imagine there's lots of layers in the skin, from the skin through to the fat, to the muscle, to the whatever lays underneath. We're in a layer that's a safe layer that exists. So we put in something into a fat layer.
I see.
So it exists. All we're doing is widening that layer. So you're not going to damage anything. You're not breaking the blood supply up or anything.
Okay.
The intention is not to kill your skin.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But now have a look. Now it looks more vascular in that area because we've pushed the vessels around a little bit. But you see you've changed the curve. I can't see what the other side looks like. Yeah, but you look, there's a big dip there.
There's a big dent, yeah.
Big dent. You look at this side.
No dent.
Nice curve. Do we agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit bumpy, but it's
a bit bumpy because there's a lot of fluid in there and that will smooth.
Gotcha.
Undoubtedly.
Like you said,
And if
self-leveling.
you sleep on that, and as you sleep on it, you'll spread it automatically under the skin.
That's a big difference.
I'm going to massage it more at the end
Sure.
anyway to get it down.
So, full of fluid, dent, and that will flatten out. That's wild. That's just wild.
Temporarily, you can't raise your forehead.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah, and that's because there's local anaesthetic.
It's like
So temporarily.
it's like mini Botox.
Yeah, I know.
I would look surprised, but I can't.
By the time you finish, so now you've got a confluence
Okay.
between your forehead and your cheek.
That's very visible right there.
Yeah, there's a dent. Yeah, if you look at youth doesn't have the dent.
No, you're right. It's as smooth as a balloon.
flows from the forehead. to
And
the side of the
now you're
face.
seeing that there can also be done the same way, and we bring that up and forward.
That's why a lot of surgeons are now saying that filler plus bone work is the best way to go.
If you want to go from male to female, you've got to get your jaw down, and you've got to get your cheekbones and your forehead changes. Those are the frontal bossing.
Yeah. Good.
You get what I'm saying now, yeah?
Yeah. Will I be able to get a similar
Absolutely.
complexion?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think you were actually in a better starting point than I was.
Crikey. I'm sure Cronenberg made a film based on this. Is that word again? Hydrodissect. Is that using fluid to separate the skin?
Yeah. And you can actually see it happening now. And this is something we teach on our mentoring course.
Was that a shameless plug I just heard?
Yes.
Good.
If you came on our mentorship course. Am I getting it?
I'm not quite sure how that ties in with the whole theme of the video, but hey, you know. So yeah, if you want to learn how to do this, if you want to learn how to stick needles in people, I'll put a link in the description below.
Not needless cannula.
Well, you know, blunt needles in people.
Not needles.
Then look up Jeremy. Address your email. I want to stick blunt needles in people's faces for fun and profit. Should an idiot's guide to cannulas. It worries me how little. And this is I've mentioned this so many times in videos, but there are so many people who are legally allowed to do this with little more than a mail order certificate. You
don't even need a mail order. To do fillers, you don't need a certificate.
There you go.
You can import them on the black market, so there's no providence to the filler, and they can inject them into people.
It's crazy. Don't do this, guys.
The Coleman was doing it.
Seriously, if you're thinking of having this stuff done, don't go for the lowest bidder. Don't go for somebody with a second-hand syringe and a tub of polyfiller. Find someone reputable, or your face will fall off. That's crazy. That's not bad considering that's just done by hand. That's already smoothing out on this side.
It's not done by hand, it's done by you. It's done by nature. It's gone in between two layers, fascial layer and a skin layer, and that's what's going to...
But look how smooth the side's becoming already.
Yeah,
It even
that's what I'm
feels smooth.
5 people in Wales can do it now, and we've taught the 5 of them.
And now several thousand more.
Temples!
Crikey.
So this we change from cannula to needle.
Ah, it's going so well. No, it hurts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down to bone. We know that that's a safe level.
Oh, good. I'm glad we established that my bone is safe.
So we go underneath what's called the gallia, and then that's another avascular plane.
I can have this. Because needles. Scared.
We've softened it, okay? It's definitely softer, especially here, with those 2 lines there. Crest, which is...
I have no idea what he's saying.
Jeremy wanted to do that to me last week. I said no.
He could be making up words right now.
I'm not making up words.
Could be. Nobody would know.
So there's a muscle here, and then there's a fascial sheath, and then there's muscle there.
What?
Doesn't matter.
No, you can.
Okay, so if you look at that, that's definitely softened that forehead. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it has.
I mean, I just think that this, what we've done here,
Yeah, there's no
is
dent
so
there, yeah.
much more feminine, isn't it?
That's good. So what have we done? Let's summarise what we've just done.
So, what have we just done? Dan has lost a lot of weight, as we all know, because we're all watching the videos. As a consequence of losing weight on the face, you lose your fat pads, you become more skeletalized, and what we've tried to do is soften all of that. We start in here, forehead and temple, and then we'll get down, we put some fat back into the cheeks, maybe the chin. Danielle's thinking about her lips, but I think her lips look really good at the moment, don't overdo them. But there was a hollowness here previously, which you probably saw at the beginning, and now we've filled that with some filler. It will soften and blend much nicer, but it's given us a continuous line that comes from the forehead through the temple and down onto the cheek, and then when we put the cheek up a little bit, there will be a much more feminine curve that comes around here. We altered the consistency, the rheology of the product, so it's flow in and then it will blend through all of this.
Every how often will I need that topped up?
It lasts about 2 years. So this and that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, because because of where it is, it stays a lot longer than, for instance, the lips and the cheek.
Sure.
So this is a good place to start because that stays while this comes up and down, and we can keep adding to this, whereas this will be here for a long time. The eyebrows probably are now coming back, are they? Can you go up? Yeah. They were dropping earlier on because we've got some anesthetic in that, but now it's back to normal. That looks really good.
Awesome.
That's definitely feminized it, isn't it?
Gosh, so there it is. That's wild. I did not expect to see that much. Normally this is quite subtle, but even my forehead looks a bit different. How smooth is that? So that's going to heal now over the next couple of days. And I'll be back in a few days for my cheeks and the brow to have that finished. And also I'm going to start having some chemical peels on my skin. So all of this is just rejuvenating and taking years off and also feminizing at the same time. This is awesome. It's like going for facial feminization surgery, but having the results now, immediately. Yeah, crazy excited. So that's the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. As always, leave your comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike. It's all good. Coming up over there in a second is the last video I recorded, and also the video that YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the very next show. Bye!